Hey everyone, what's going on? Today I'm going to talk about wrapping up the third month of being a dad. The main thing I'm going to talk about today is my wife and I discussing whether or not we're going to have a second child and when that could happen. Generally speaking, we both want to have another kid. We've always thought maybe two or three would be a good fit, but definitely taking it one baby at a time because you never know the challenges that the first one's going to bring. And Nicholas is, so far, the first 3 months, has been a pretty well behaved baby and things are going well, but that can always change. So that's why it's like, we'll probably have a second one, but let's see how the terrible twos go for Nicholas before we jump into the third one. Of course, my wife is a twin and has other twins in her family. So whenever we want to have one more baby, that could easily mean two more babies. So for us, that's definitely something to keep in mind. I definitely did not want twins for the first pregnancy because I was overwhelmed enough with just the thought of being a dad. And one was definitely enough for the first time. But now that I've adjusted to things and I kind of understand what to expect and what's going on and I'm more confident, I would definitely be open to having twins in the second pregnancy because then we'd have three and we could stop there. And two pregnancies is probably a bit easier than three. So I think that would make sense. So either way, I'd be fine with it. However, I definitely know there's major challenges to having twins. So I'm not necessarily wishing for that, but I'm more like 50-50 on it now. The general factors I've noticed people use to consider whether they're going to have additional children or not would be obvious things like the money that it takes to raise the child, the time commitment, their own experiences with having siblings or a lack of siblings, as well as I think for some people, having a kid might be more about checking a box than actually enjoying having the kids, if I'm just being real about it. And so, obviously, for those people, one is enough and then they're done. Other people, their children are their life, their legacy, and they might want as many as possible, with the majority of people being somewhere in between. My wife has one sibling who she's very close with and has many extended family members that she would see on a weekly basis growing up in Brazil. I also had one sibling who I was not as close with because we were extremely different from each other. But my cousin has been my best friend since I was basically born, and we're the same age. So I am close overall with some of my family members. However, I probably was not as close with my family as my wife, and I don't think of family as most of my social network like she does. So she has more of a mindset of having multiple kids to provide a similar close knit family upbringing to what she had. There are also other considerations that we're taking into account, and a lot of people do take into account, like the grandparents over spoiling just one kid if that's their only grandkid. For us, we might also want to homeschool our kids, especially through elementary school. So there are some advantages as well as disadvantages to homeschooling either just one kid or multiple kids at the same time. So overall, for us, having two makes a lot of sense. But more than that, I'm not sure of. So again, we'll just take it one kid at a time and see how it goes.